I never expected my phone to buzz with her name after 14 years of silence, but that message changed everything, Maria. We need to talk. My heart pounded in my chest 14 years ago. I walked away from Maria at our kitchen table, divorce papers between us, the air heavy. With anger and regret, I thought I'd left her in the past. Then, out of nowhere, she reached out for one conversation. Before I tell you how we need to talk turned into the most dangerous trap of my life, hit subscribe, because sometimes the people who hurt us most come back seeking more than just closure. I agreed to meet her at the Lantern Room, a small cafe in Seattle, adorned with Edison bulbs and mismatched chairs. The place where we once shared cappuccinos and big dreams. I arrived at 6:45 p.m. 15 minutes early. Nerves, jangling. The bell above the door tinkled as I stepped. Inside, the barista looked up, smiled politely, then turned back to steaming milk. No one asked if I wanted a table. They assumed I was another stranger. I spotted Maria in the far corner, under a cracked mirror. She sat alone, shoulders hunched over a half-empty latte. 14 years had weathered her dark hair streaked with gray eyes, shadowed cheeks gaunt, yet she still wore that old leather jacket I once bought her, an artifact from a happier time. As I approached, she glanced up, her eyes flickered from surprise to relief, then hardened. Jordan, she said, voice low, thanks for coming. I sat without greeting, studying her calmly. I lay out my empty hands. You said you needed help. She closed her eyes and exhaled. I'm in trouble. She spun a tale I knew all too well. Her fiancé had vanished. Her mother lay dying in a hospital she couldn't pay for, and now her landlord threatened to evict her next week if she didn't come up with $20,000 overdraft fees, late charges, medical bills she couldn't afford. She painted the picture of a woman crushed by fate, desperate for a lifeline. I listened, expression unreadable around us. Couples chatted. Servers clattered plates. The espresso machine hissed. No one else seemed to notice the drama at table 12. When she finished, she looked at me with pleading eyes. You're the only one I can ask. My pulse quickened. Maria was always a master at tugging heartstrings. 14 years ago, I gave her everything, but I'd learned caution the hard way. I leaned forward and said, show me proof. Her face flickered, panic, embarrassment. She searched her purse, pulled out a stack of crumpled envelopes, foreclosure notices, medical bills, eviction warnings. Authentic enough, but a closer look revealed mismatched dates and different typefaces, a careless forgery. I raised an eyebrow. You don't owe all these people, she stammered. They sent multiple notices. Tell me about this fiancé. I said, voice steady. She blinked. Mark, he left town, took everything. Where is he now? Silence. No one knows. I pressed her eyes, darted. He's gone. I recalled on our divorce how she drained my bank account, selling assets behind my back. If she'd truly been abandoned, she'd have some record, a name, a lawyer, a forwarding address, but she had none. I stood brushing past my coat. Maria, I'm not that man anymore. Jordan, I held up a crisp photo, her signature on the deed, transferring our townhouse to her second husband's name. 6 years ago, the lines were clear. The date legible. You sold our home and vanished with the proceeds. You're not penniless, you're just a con artist. Her lips quivered. I needed a fresh start. You needed cash, I said. Tears brimmed in her eyes, genuine or cunning. I couldn't tell. She opened her mouth to speak, then closed it. I slipped her my business card. Take this, it's the number for a charity I support. They'll help you with housing on real terms. But I'm done bailing you out. Without another word, I walked out. The cafe's bell tinkled behind me. Outside, the night air was cool, crisp with early autumn. I pulled my coat tighter and crossed the street. I realized I'd come face to face with the same woman I left behind, the one who used my compassion as a weapon, but tonight I refused to play that old role. I hailed a cab and leaned back, the city lights blurring past. 14 years of guilt dissolved in that moment. Maria's "we need to talk" had been her opening gambit to reel me back into her schemes. This time I saw the trap and walked away when the cab dropped me at my Apartment. I paused under the street lamp. The glow felt warm. For the first time in years, I thought of the man I used to be. A man plagued by guilt, haunted by memories, too soft-hearted for his own good, and I smiled. Some lessons only come when you refuse to be fooled again. Sometimes the greatest strength is knowing when to stand up and say no. If this story reminded you that the most dangerous traps can come in familiar voices, tap. Subscribe, because wisdom often lies in the silence between the lies. Until next time, trust actions over words and never lend to a ghost that still haunts your memories.